Who's that peeking in my window? You should let some more skin show. And if one of these websites get the info, we could work it out, no Nintendo. I just hit out, tab, switching in between two.
Welcome back. Today we're going to take my eyebrows from this to this. I'm going to show you how I tint my eyebrows at home using the Just For Men mustache and beard dye. For the complete look, make sure you check out part 1 of 2 on how I wax my eyebrows at home. Link will be in the description box. Make sure to check that out. Things you will need are the Just For Men beard dye in whatever color you choose. I chose rich dark brown, Vaseline, a lighter concealer, a concealer brush, an angled eyebrow brush, a spoolie, and also Q-tips. Let's get started. So using that Q-tip, I'm going to take a little bit of Vaseline and put that on the back of my hand. I'm going to be mixing this with the lighter concealer to make sure that I outline my eyebrows and don't tint anything that I do not want to tint. Anything that the Vaseline touches will not be dyed by the hair dye. So you want to make sure you're very precise with this, carving out your eyebrows exactly the way that you want them, making sure not to get any of the Vaseline on any of the hairs or on any part of the skin that you would not like to be dyed. I take my time with this. I use a fairly good amount of Vaseline just to make sure that the concealer is actually opaque and I can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to first outline the top, then I'm going to go in and outline the bottom. Now moving on to the next step, you're going to take your dye. It comes with a developer and a color dye, a stick to mix, and also a mixing bowl. On the mixing bowl, there are 2 lines that show you exactly where you should put your developer and your dye. You want to make sure you're squeezing out equal parts of both the two. Then we're going to go ahead and mix them together. Now, the mixing stick that they give you does on the other end come with a brush. It is rather big and rather thick. Again, it is for men's mustaches, so I'm only using this stick to mix it up. I'm then going to take my angled eyebrow brush, dip it into the dye, and pretty much fill in my brows with the dye. I like to start on the outside of my brows just because I do like those to be a lot darker and a lot thicker looking than the front of my brow. Where you start is going to tint, shall I say, the darkest. You can see as I'm putting it on my eyebrows that the color is already developing. That all depends on how long you take to mix the two. For instance, if you mix the dye and happen to let it sit for a second, it will start to develop in the mixing bowl. So once you place it on your eyebrows, it's obviously going to be a lot darker. The darker your dye goes on, the less amount of time you have to let it sit. I personally like to let the dye develop in the bowl so that when I apply it to my eyebrows, I can see a little bit more of what I'm doing, a lot more of my shape. So this causes for less time for me to have to actually let it sit on my face. Now, I do try to move very quickly and also precisely without getting the dye everywhere, because you do want to do the other brow at the same time. You don't want one brow to be darker than the other. So you want to make sure that you are speedy, but also very precise with this. I'm using the same technique from the first eyebrow, making sure to start on the outside tail of my brow and then work my way towards the middle. I may go back and touch up any sparse areas that I may see. Once I feel comfortable with the dye, I do wait 5 to 10 minutes depending on how dark the dye developed. I wash my face, making sure to get all the dye, and these are my final results. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out part 1 on how I wax my eyebrows. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe.